Hi crafty friends, it's Donna here, and I've got a pair of cards for you today that use a really clever little combo. Today's card features the Stay Cool stamp set from Pink and Main, which has a matching Stay Cool stencil which exactly lines up with the stamp, and I'm going to use those today in two different ways to show you two different cards. To begin with, I'm stamping the image using Versafine Onyx black ink and letting that ink dry well. This stamp set has quite a bold line, and when you place the stencil over it, the stencil covers about half of the line all the way around, and so it's quite easy to position in place. Once I'm happy that I've got that lined up and it's taped up, and I've also masked off anywhere that I'm likely to blend off the page, it's time to get blending. I'm using a combo of blue for these flip-flops. We call them thongs in Australia, but I don't believe that is entirely appropriate in all parts of the world. Once the stamped image is all inked up, I'm placing another sheet of cardstock behind, folding my tape over to make a little bit of a hinge, and then carefully sliding out my stamped piece of card so that I'm left with the clean card underneath, and then I'm blending again. And then basically I'm going to repeat that process, lining the stamp up, masking anywhere that I'm likely to slip, making a hinge, flipping the card out, and then re-ink blending on the card behind. And this way I'm slowly building up two images. I'm blending some of the colours in darker and lighter shades just so that I don't need to bring in too many different colours and get things too busy. And in the case of those wide leaves, I'm blending two of the colours over each other, the yellow and the green, to get a nice lime green. When it came to blending these broad leaves, there wasn't really a good place to put a hinge, and so I've only worked the stamped image, and I'm going to come back in later once I'm sure of where everything else goes, and just position the stencil and blend it at the end. The hibiscus has a teeny tiny little detail on one of the petals that really would work best if it were glued down. I don't have any stencil adhesive, and so I've made the decision just to snip that out so that I don't have it flapping around everywhere. There are a few other thin parts to the stencil here, but I've just worked carefully around those. And by blending yellow over the whole flower and then some pink in the middle, I've managed to get a passable hibiscus. Now that I have so much of the image in, that hinge is not so critical, and I can work out where things fit on the page just by looking through the stencil. I'm going to do that for the hibiscus, and then for those leaves that I omitted earlier. Of course, being me, I've used a stitched rectangle die to cut out my panels. No card of mine is complete without them. The sentiment comes from a stamp called Aloha Flowers, and I'm just stamping that directly onto the panel. And then I've just mounted them up onto some coloured cardstock. As a finishing touch, I'm just going to add a couple of enamel dots. These particular ones come from an enamel dot set called Ahoy, also from Pink and Main. I really enjoyed making these two cards. It's a really great fun way to colour, and I've not really done much of this before. I hope you've enjoyed these cards. If you would like to, feel free to like and subscribe. If not, feel free to walk on by. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Bye for now.